Are you sick of the same old boring chords everyone knows? Of boring melodies that you create with these chords? Well, in today's video, we're gonna fix exactly that. And we're gonna do it in 5 easy to follow steps, so you can finally fix your boring chords and your boring melodies. Let's get straight into it. You gotta explore more beyond these campfire chords, like this G, like this D, this C, and the first way we go beyond that are add 9 chords. And what exactly is an add 9 chord? Well, when you have your scales, like for example a C major, this is a C major scale, as probably every one of you know, and when you take the second note of the scale and you put it into the chord, you have an add 9 chord. And this goes for every scale degree. So for D, we would put in the E. For F, we would put in the G, and so on and so on. So for a C major add 9 chord, we need to play the notes C, D, E, and G. And this is done by playing this C, this E, this open G, and this D over here. As you see, a really nice color to this chord. I absolutely love this chord. And yeah, it's still on the open position, so you don't have to like learn something up here, but I have some add 9 chords that are further up the neck, and you can play it in every single position. So take this as an example. We have the A major add 9 chord. So we're playing the A here on the 5th string, C sharp on the 4th string, then we're playing this E, and then this B. As you see, a beautiful chord, and you can move it all across the neck. So over here a G sharp major add 9 chord, and over here a B major add 9 chord. There's just one thing you gotta remember, and that's that you cannot use add 9 chords on every single scale degree. You can use add 9 or add flat 9 chords on every single degree, but not always with the major second. Sometimes you can use it with the minor second, but that's a really dark sound. Let me show it to you. So for example, take this. This is the A major add 9 chord, and if we make it a add flat 9 chord, it sounds like this. I'm not saying you cannot use this chord. You can absolutely use this chord, especially in some darker music like metal, or like some dark ambience if you want it. And it's better suited for minor add 9 chords. So A minor add flat 9 chord is this. And it sounds better like this. But playing major add flat 9 chords is an awesome way to spice a major chord up too. As you see, you certainly can find some use for this chord, and when you do, make sure to leave a comment so I know what you will personally use it for and your own personal ideas. I think they're gonna be awesome. So leave a comment down below if you have some interesting idea. Thank you. Next up are 7th chords. And 7th chords are 3 different 7th chords. We have the dominant 7th chords, major 7th chords, and minor 7th chords. Those are the basic three. You can also expand onto that. There are also things like a minor, major chord, but in today's lesson we're gonna talk about the major, minor, and the dominant 7th chord. So, 7th chords are closely related to add 9 chords because add 9s are mostly given to 7th chords, but this is not a rule. You absolutely do not need to have a 7th chord that has a add 9 to it, and the other way around, you don't have to have an add 9 chord that also has a 7th in it. This is not a rule. So, for the first type, the major 7th chord. It consists of the root, major 3rd, perfect 5th, and the major 7th. And a perfect example for that is in the key of C major, the first chord. C major 7th. So, we're gonna take the C, E, then the G. So we have the root, major 3rd, and the perfect 5th. And then we're gonna use this B. So C, E, G, B. And then we can either use the E or G. As you see, a C major 7th chord. And you can see this adds a nice color to it. Often 7th chords are referred to as jazz chords, but they absolutely do not only have a use in jazz music. They can be used in all types of music, and it's awesome when you use them. It spices your chord progressions, your melodies, everything. Again, I absolutely love 7th chords. But in my own experience, it takes some getting used to for creating 7th chords or add 9 chords anywhere on the fretboard, because you need to really know the notes of the fretboard, and if you don't know them, then you're kind of screwed, but not really. You can always like count up from like D, E, F, and things like that, but when you really know them, it's a lot faster. So learning notes of the fretboard would be a huge thing to focus on. But let's get back to the 7th chords. So we were talking about the C major 7th chord and the thing that you can up here either use the G or the E. I like the version with the G a lot more. But the version with the E can also find some uses. Now for the part how to play it across the whole neck. So, a major 7th chord can be played like this. So, we're playing this A on the 5th string, C sharp on the 4th string, E on the 3rd string, and then G sharp on the 2nd string. So, this is a major 7th chord, specifically a major 7th. The other way you can play this chord is this. When you leave out the 5th, a beautiful sound too. These two shapes can be moved all across the neck, and it still gives you the major 7th chord. It's awesome. So, for the minor 7th chord, there's only 2 notes changing. Now, for the beginner part, the open minor 7th chord. we're gonna play an A minor 7th chord, and it's played like this. Open A, E, open G, C, and open E. And we can accentuate the minor 7th, the G, by playing it here. Or we can play it with the E. Now, for the chord shapes that can be movable, we have the same two, but we just change two notes in them. So, the first shape is played like this. A on the 5th string, C on the 4th string, then this E on the G string, then this G on the B string. Lovely sound. Now, for the second shape, it's a lot easier. You just put a finger on this A on the 5th string, on this C on the 4th string, and then on this G on the 3rd string. Now, let's do the dominant 7th chords. So, for the dominant 7th chords, there's only one note changing from each of these chords. From the minor 7th chord, there's the minor 3rd going to the major 3rd. This is a dominant 7th chord. And from the major 7th chord, there's only the major 7th changing. So, major 7th chord, dominant 7th chord, and a minor 7th chord. This is what you need to remember. There's always only one note changing from the major 7th to the dominant 7th, and from the dominant 7th to the minor 7th. So, let me show you the open position for a dominant 7th chord. This is it. This is the A minor dominant 7th chord. A in the open A, then this E on the 4th string, G open, this C sharp on the B string, and E on the 1st string, and you can again play it with the G. So this was the open position for the dominant 7th chord, and the dominant 7th chord is a lot jazzier than a major 7th chord or a minor 7th chord, but there's use to it too. It's usually on the 5th degree of the major scale, and when you use it, it creates some tension, and you can then release that to make your chord progressions more satisfying. So, going from the 5th, from the dominant 7th chord, this G dominant 7th, to a C major or C major 7th, is a lot more satisfying than going from the G major. Let me show you. From the dominant 7th to C major. And now let me show you how it would sound from G major to both of these. As you see, it's not that satisfying as from G dominant 7th to the C major or C major 7th. And again, going from the G dominant 7th to a C major 7th sounds better, in my opinion. As you can see, combining these two types of chords are so strong for creating melodies. I don't know how to describe it. It's just a whole new world unlocks with these chords. You can create awesome melodies with them. Now make sure to watch this playlist in which I show you more ways to make better melodies. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.